Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Very good. Reading from the Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge. Text 10. Maya atyakshena prakriti suyate saracharam hetu anena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sitting there. Translation. This material nature is working under my direction, O son of Kuntī, and it is producing all moving and non-moving beings. By its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Please repeat after me. This material nature is working under my direction, O son of Kuntī, and it is producing all moving and unmoving beings. By its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Purport. It is clearly stated here that the Supreme Lord, although aloof from all the activities of the material world, remains the Supreme Director. The Supreme Lord is the Supreme Will and the background of this material manifestation, but the management is being conducted by material nature. Krishna also states in Bhagavad Gita that of all the living entities in different forms and species, I am the Father. The father gives seeds to the womb of the mother for the child, and similarly the Supreme Lord by his mere glance injects all living entities into the womb of material nature, and they come out in their different forms and species according to their last desires and activities. All these living entities, although born under the glance of the Supreme Lord, still take their different bodies according to their past deeds and desires. So the Lord is not directly attached to this material creation. He simply glances over material nature. Material nature is thus activated and everything is created immediately. Because he glances over material nature, there is undoubtedly activity on the part of the Supreme Being, but he has nothing to do with the manifestation of the material world directly. This example is given in the Smriti. When there is a fragrant flower before someone, the fragrance is touched by the smelling power of the person, yet the smelling and the flower are detached from one another. There is a similar connection between the material world and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, he has nothing to do with this material world, but he creates by his glance and ordains. In summary, material nature without the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot do anything. Yet the Supreme Personality is detached from all material activities. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschacharya Sacharane Sri Chaitanya Mano Vishnu Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamahyam Dadati Supatantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadada Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, I think he was worried I will speak in the same language throughout. right? No, I'll speak in English now. So, there is always the question, what is the difference between free will and destiny? Is there something called destiny? If there is destiny, then where is the meaning of free will, responsibility, good, bad, sin, right? And if there is free will, then, thank you very much, then where is the question of destiny? So Krishna is answering this question here, and it behooves upon us to try and understand it very thoughtfully. Because Krishna is practically revealing how this world is working. There are so many scriptures in the world, they are all bona fide scriptures. But the Bhagavat Gita is the only scripture in which you will see page after page, God is directly speaking. I do this, I do this, I do that. Nowhere else you will find. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita occupies a unique position, important position, because like Muhammad is the messenger of God, Jesus is the Son of God, and they all say, we have revealed knowledge, we are saying, and Krishna is saying, I am God. There is no contradiction. So, here we are getting directly from Krishna, how this creation is done by the Lord. And human life is meant for assembling like this and hearing about Krishna. In any God, if you want to know that's God, it's also okay. But it's not complete. Just like I always give the example, you point to somebody and say, he's my neighbor. And people say, oh, he's your neighbor, what's his name? I don't know. That means you really don't know him. Like that, if you say God, then you ask, what's his name? Oh, I don't know. Then you don't know. Really God. So God is okay, but it's incomplete understanding. When you say Krishna, it's complete understanding. But that has to be demonstrated. You see? It's like everybody can say E equal to mc squared. Even the baby can say. But you have to know what the equation means. Isn't it? You have to say E is energy, M is mass, C is velocity of light. What does it mean? What is this? You have to know. Like that, Srila Prabhupada said that you have to know Krishna or God thoroughly. Otherwise, it is not possible to have faith in Krishna. Nobody will have faith in a person they do not know. Isn't it? If somebody you see on the street and he says, can you please give me $5, I'll return to you tomorrow. You won't give it. So this idea of blind faith is impossible. No man in his senses can have blind faith. So when people have faith in God, it comes from knowledge in the previous lives. And it develops and it goes more and more. But human life is the only life in which one can develop knowledge of God or Krishna. So it's very important. So religion is the beginning stage of human life, and you will never see a Christian cat or a Muslim dog or a Hindu crow. Have you seen? No, it's not possible. There's no religion for it. Prabhupada explained, just like traffic rules are meant for human beings. If there is a red light and a dog is crossing, police is not going to give a ticket to the dog. It's not meant for, the rules are. So, the dharma hinena nunam pashubir shamanam. Dharma means rules and regulations, hinena means without. In the absence of rules and regulations guiding life, human beings are like animals. But in this yuga, this age called Kali Yuga, religion is very difficult for people to practice because we are all indisciplined. So, if we continually hear, so Krishna has made it so possible, he says, okay, although you have to be highly religious before you can really understand God, now I will just reveal everything so that you can become religious. So Krishna is so kind, he is making it ulta. So that is why Bhagavad Gita is spoken in the beginning of Kali Yuga. Directly he comes and speaks. Otherwise, the scripture is not available to the general public. So Krishna's position is very difficult to understand. God. We say God, that is, Krishna is actually the correct nomenclature for the supreme truth. So first we have to understand the supreme truth is a person. Like I was explaining, truth is limited. Suppose you say this is a sitting seat, that's true. But if you say this is a flower, that's not true. If you say this is floor, that is true. But if you say this is banana, it's not true. So these are all limited truths. But when you say Krishna, then everything is Krishna. Therefore he is called the supreme truth. Very difficult to understand. So what exactly is the difference between Krishna and everything such that everything is Krishna? So a simple example is given. Like this is hand, this is leg, this is nose, this is ear. But you can always say this is Rasraj, this is Rasraj, this is Rasraj. That's also correct. So you can say this is floor, this is seat, that is tree, that is house. But you can also say this is Krishna, that is Krishna, that is Krishna. It's possible if you know Krishna. You see? Prabhupada said just like a dog, an insect, a fly sitting on the king's lap, it doesn't know it is sitting on king's lap. It's just thinking I'm sitting in some place. Like that, we don't see this is Krishna. We see it, this is called Pratak Bhava, separate mentality. So how can you see Krishna when you already see it as something else? Suppose he came inside the room and I said, oh, red t-shirt has come. I mean, I'm not seeing him. Even though I'm seeing, I'm not seeing. Pashyan api na pashyati, Bhagavad Gita says. Even though I'm seeing, I'm not seeing. Therefore, there is no point in complaining. They asked there's one atheistic, self-proclaimed atheist, Stephen Hawking, he's a big scientist, and he says he's atheist. So somebody asked him in an interview, suppose after you die, you go to the pearly gate, they say, heaven, and you see God, then what will you say? Then he said, which is quite a creditable answer. And he said, I will ask him, why have you been hiding yourself all this time? At least that means he's not as much an atheist as he claims he is, because then he didn't say it's impossible, that's not possible. He says, in other words, if there is God, why am I not able to see him? Now, Bhagavad Gita's answer would be that is a question you have to ask yourself and not Krishna. Because Krishna says, I am present before you. And why is it that you are seeing other things? You see? Just like if you go to somebody's house and you are only seeing how the house is. Oh, he's got nice sofa. Oh, he's got nice TV. Oh, that's such a nice TV he has got. Oh, he's got this wall painting. But you're not talking to that guy who owns everything. That means you are very materialistic. You're more interested in the things that are there and not the owner. This is our nature in the material world. We are more interested in the things that God has got, Krishna, rather than Krishna himself. Therefore, to be able to see Krishna, we have to have some degree of withdrawing. Just like when you are sitting in front of a TV and you are watching a movie, you never see the TV. If somebody asks you, what's the color of the TV? Oh, I don't know, I watched the movie. Because we are so absorbed in the movie that you don't see the TV, but you are seeing the TV, but you don't see. So, in the human life, we are required to think, why is it that Krishna is here and I don't see? But we are so proud that if we come to the temple and we see Krishna a little bit, then we are very happy. That's it, we go. We are really not interested in Krishna. Therefore, Krishna says there are 4 kinds of people who come to me. Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuna. 4 kinds of people. Artha arthati jignashu jnanishcha bhartarashava. There are 4 kinds of people. Those who are suffering, they go to God. Oh God, I don't have this, I don't have that. Please help me. Krishna said they are also good. All the 4 people are good. Then distressed, and then other people are artharthis, those who want something. Give me Krishna this, give me that. Please, can I make me win a lottery? Do this, do that. They think from God we can get something. Most people come under these 2 categories. Then Krishna says, curiously enough, that there is another category of people called curious, jigyashu. They are curious about me. Right? What is that curiosity? In this curiosity is included big yogis also. Great sages also included. And what about us? And then jigyasu, jnanisha, one who really loves me. He said that's the best. Now what is this curious guy? Isn't it? Who is always curious about God? Somebody like me, I think, could be curious. Not really interested in God. What does it mean? How come? Yeah. We should be self-critical. We cannot just assume, oh, I'm somebody great. No. So curious means, it's like, you go on the street and you see a group of people, right? You're curious. What is happening? You just go and you stand. You try to stand from the back. Why people are inside? When we were children, whenever we saw people gather up, then all the kids will run there. They know there's something happening there. And push inside, just we are small kids, push inside, somehow go to the front, and you will see always one guy with some snake and one mongoose, and he'll make them fight, and everybody will watch. That was a long time ago. I don't think that India is there now. But sometimes you go there, somebody is lying on the ground. Oh, what happened? Oh, some car hit him. Did anybody call for doctor? Yeah, they have called. Oh, I see, okay. And then you go back. You are curious. You are not going to say, oh, I'll have to now take care of this guy. I have to go to the hospital with him. I have to make sure that he gets good treatment, and until he fully recovers, I'm going to be with him. No. You was wondering why people were there. You just went there, saw. Like that, we come to the temple. We worship Krishna, and I chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And I'm curious. I want to know what's happening. And after some time I understand, I think I understand, oh, it was nice. And then I got other things to do. I have to go to work, I have to do this, I have to do that, I forget. That means curious. One is not saying 24 hours I'm going to chant. Kirtaniya Sadahari. So, Krishna says very rarely someone goes past curiosity stage of God. The curiosity stage of God, you can go on knowing more and more about God. So that you may look like greatly learned and you can even give big talks, but in fact, you are not really interested in God. That is why even great sages, study in the Puranas, then they have some problem. They fall down. In great sages it is there. Those who know Indians are there, Puranas, you know. Great sage, Vishwamitra was so great. Wow. If they are like that, then who are we? So, we should know what it means to be a devotee. Devoted to God. Devoted means that's what, nothing else. Therefore, it is very, very difficult in the human life to really get devotion to God. So if one is fortunate enough to understand that I do not really love God, that is progress. Exactly like someone who is sick, if he understands I am not well, that's progress. At least now we can go to see doctor. But everybody thinks I know something. You see? Very convinced. I may not know everything, but I know something about God. No. Because Prabhupada said, if you know God, it is not that you see Him morning 8 o'clock and again you will see Him only in the evening. No. 24/7 you can see God. There is no question of not seeing God. No question. Sada pashyanti. All the time. Can you imagine? So, to come to that stage is an offer that Krishna gives us. So, in order to then understand Krishna, we have to hear about Krishna a lot. That is the purpose of human life. So, whenever any society is organized in such a way that people have got an opportunity to hear about God, then that society is called civilized society. But in a society where people have opportunity to go and drink, to go and dance, to go and do all kinds of silly things, go for football, go for hockey, there are so many facilities the government has made. We are building a new stadium in San Francisco, they will say, for San Francisco Giants, isn't it? Warriors. Giants is what? Football? Baseball? Baseball, something like that is there, San Francisco Giants. And the football team is called Warriors?
It's basketball.
Huh?
That's basketball.
Basketball. And what's the football team called?
49ers.
Oh, San Francisco 49ers, okay.
Yeah. But they're in Santa Clara.
I see. Anyway, so many facilities are there and so many things, and if somebody wants to go roller skating, you can see how much research is being done. And so much of effort goes into so many things, but they say we are a secular state and we will not actually, it's not the job of the government to promote religion. That's wrong. That's very wrong. I remember once I was going by train in India and a guy was sitting next to me, I asked him, what do you do? And he said, I'm a sports minister for that state. I said, really? So, do you play all the games? He said, no. How can I play all the games? I said, then how did you become? He was not a sports minister, he was some sports federation secretary. So, main man. So I said, then what do you play? And he became a sports federation chief, so he must have played something. Yeah, I played basketball for the country, Oh, Olympics. Oh, great. But what about, do you play tennis? No, I don't play tennis. What about, cricket? No, I don't play cricket. So you only promote, no, I asked him first, so is there a minister for also religion? There's a minister for sports. He said, no, we don't have. It's only for sports and other things. Why not for religion? No, you see, you can't have for religion because there are so many religions. It will be a confusion. Oh, really? I said, sports? There's only one sport? He said, no, there are many sports. Then you play all of them? He said, no. So as a minister, you only support basketball? No, I promote everything. So I said, if you are as a sportsman, you only play basketball, but you promote all other sports, why is it that you can't have a minister for religion who is from one religion, but who can promote all religions? Why not? What's the problem? He didn't have an answer for that, right? Dr. Srinivasan, good question or not? So, you see, the people don't understand what is religion. Somebody once told me, that no, Krishna cannot be God. I said, why? He said, because Jesus is the Son of God. Well, Jesus is Son of God, why can't Krishna be God? Which Jesus didn't say, I am God. Muhammad didn't say, I am God, he said, I am messenger of God. So what's the problem? Everything is fine. We accept Muhammad is messenger of God, Jesus is Son of God, Krishna is God. But the Hindus are more confused than others. I was once in a Kumbh Mela, one boy came and he said, aren't you Hare Krishna? I said, yes. Don't you guys say Krishna is God? I said, yes. I said, not really, as Krishna himself says that. Then he said, I don't believe that. Oh, I said, really, why? I said, because I say Lord Shiva is God. I said, that's very good, but what does Lord Shiva say? You may say Shiva is God, but what does Shiva say? And then I quoted where Shiva says that I am servant of Krishna. So somebody could come and say that I am the President of the United States. But what do I say? Unless I am a madman, I wouldn't be accepting that. So it is not for us to say. If you really see, nobody else says, I am the Supreme Lord except Krishna. So I want to come to this topic. Krishna says that I'm, under my supervision, the world functions, and I just want to give a little glimpse of this point. Because to understand Krishna is very difficult. Unless Krishna reveals in our heart who He is, there is no way we can understand. All the Shastras are written not so we can understand God. That's nonsense. All the Shastras are written so that we can realize, oh, I cannot understand God. If you come to that point, then because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, under my supervision the entire creation works. Whoa! Now it's not that now you think, yeah, I know that because of Krishna everything works. How? We should rather think, oh, I don't know. I didn't know. I thought that everything is happening due to me. In fact, my wife says everything happens due to her, people might say. Isn't it? In this way, people have all these ideas. The most powerful person in the world, they say about American president. That's nonsense. After another 1 year, we lose the post. These are all elected posts. Power is conferred upon you. But Krishna is ontologically powerful. He was not elected God with a term. No. Under all circumstances, at all times, is the supreme. How are we to so only if He reveals Himself in them. So, Lord Chaitanya, as Krishna Himself, has propounded this philosophy of Achintya Bheda Bheda, which is the only correct explanation of God. Once one understands that, they will know. Everything else is incorrect, more or less, Prabhupada says. Prabhupada, there are 4 other Vaishnava traditions, and Prabhupada in the 5th canto writes, even they are more or less incorrect. Whoa! Wow! And these are established by great acharyas. Of course, they know the truth. Ramanujacharya knows the absolute. But they were not authorized to reveal. Just like if you are a big professor of mathematics, he knows mathematics, but he goes to children who are in 1st grade. He cannot speak calculus or, Hilbert space or this or that. Isn't it? So similarly, they all spoke according to time, place and circumstance. They had to make compromise. But Lord Chaitanya said, no, I'm going to give you now the complete philosophy and I will make you understand it. Lord Chaitanya once had actually 24-hour Avesh, darshan for 24 hours, completely, the Lord was in ecstasy. Then he said, I will go to the local king, at that time was a Muslim king, and I will tell him, get your strongest elephants and give them the strongest, intoxicant drinks, maybe whiskey. Buckets and buckets, barrels and barrels. And they are so intoxicated, they are ready to run and destroy everything. And I'll snap my fingers and say, chant Hare Krishna, and the elephant will chant Hare Krishna. It's a very fantastic thing. And he actually demonstrated it. So you see, it is, the Lord Chaitanya says that I shall make you understand Krishna. So this Lord Chaitanya's movement is extremely rare. So we should approach with great humility. Because this knowledge is so great that even if a donkey reads, then he can sit and speak like me. I'm just nothing, no different from a donkey. So this is not any sign of any greatness or something. Any fool can read these books and speak blah, 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 blah. No. The real thing is to realize, oh my God, Krishna is so great. When will I even come to the point of realizing I don't know him? You see, just like when you read school in mathematics, child, if you ask, what are you learning? 1 plus 1 equal to 2, 2 times 3 is 6. The child is thinking it's learning some mathematics. The child has to go beyond PhD to realize it doesn't know mathematics. That's a very high stage. You realize, oh wow, I don't know. You study physics, right? Chemistry, Vekat Srinivasani, he and his wife are sponsoring today's Prasadam, and it is their marriage anniversary, so you can all give your best wishes to them. And he's a PhD, I'm sure that he realizes that, oh, I really don't know chemistry after doing PhD. That's a sign of a Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. By Vidya must come Vinaya. I do not know. Not that I know. So, as years have passed by, I have understood I'm a complete fool and a donkey. I know nothing. Therefore, I'm trying to understand Krishna. That's the real message we can go. Someone like Prabhupada, he can explain Krishna to us. Even he would say, I do not know Krishna completely. Krishna is by nature unknowable, but he can reveal himself. So, when Krishna says that everything is happening according to my free will, according to my supervision, and we think things are happening according to our activities, how are we going to reconcile these two things? Somebody says, I went today to see a movie, it's by my will. Or somebody says, I went to see a game, I went by my will, I'm going to work by my will. Is everything happening according to Krishna's will? How is it possible? Even in the West we have this statement, not even a blade of grass moves without the Lord's will. Isn't it? Even the Christians say that. And in Tamil also, in India, we have the proverb, Avanindri anuvum asayadu. Without the Lord's sanction, even an atom will not move. It's there. So how is it that the Lord has so comprehensive micro-control over everything, and yet we also have free will, karma, we know good karma, bad karma, we are responsible for what we are doing. There are many, many explanations. But I'm just giving one little angle today. You have to understand what is the difference between God and God's energies. When you say everything is God, it is because God is different from everything. This is also me, this is also me, this is also me, because I am different from everything. Because there is Krishna, everything is Krishna. Because I exist, this is all me. Suppose I leave, nobody will say this is Rasraj, it's gone. Body burned, cremate, over. Over. Just like if I take this shirt, as I am wearing it, this is my shirt. If I take it and I throw it in the garbage, it loses its identity. It's not my shirt. So without Krishna, connection to Krishna, nothing is God. This is very much, So Krishna is different from everything, but because everything is coming from Krishna, it is also God. So we should not think that just because God is everything, God doesn't have a personality. God has. So Krishna himself acts. It's very important to know. If Krishna does not act, nothing in this world can act. Just like me as a soul, it's a very important point, kindly listen carefully, because if you meditate on this, you will understand Krishna a little bit more. And then next week you can do the class. So, the thing is that Krishna, just like I am the soul, when I am in this body, it's like you enter the car and you turn the key. Then so many things in that, they spring to action, right? The engine is running, the spark plug is firing, and the gasoline is burning, and the wheels are turning, the gears are engaging, and the car is moving. So many things are happening in this car, each has its own designated function, but nothing can happen if I didn't turn the car. So Prabhupada is explaining that without Krishna's glance, nothing happens. But it is not merely that he is glancing, afterwards also everything is working according to his will. The car is going downtown because of my will. None of the parts individually, they know. The wheels and the car, engine and everything, they don't know where they're going. They're all working. Similarly, as soon as I come into this body, the heart is pumping, isn't it? The lungs are breathing, the cells are working, the brain is functioning, occasionally at least. You see? But all this is possible because I am present. And I am doing my own things. I am sitting and talking, after that we will take prasadam. So in this way, these are going parallelly. There is an idea in philosophy called psychophysical parallelism. Our philosopher is here. Right? So, isn't it? There's something called psychophysical parallelism. Have you heard of that? No, it's there in philosophy. So, but I won't go into that. The point is that there is, in this way, the Lord is actually doing everything. If you ultimately ask, why is this body walking there? Because of me. But the body is walking because there are motor functions, the brain is firing, and then, control mechanism is going, the muscles are acting. You can see either way. So, the point is that everything is happening in this creation because of God's will. But it has nothing to do with whatever we are doing, because we are all acting according to our own will and karma. And both are true. Therefore, what happens is, then what is destiny? The destiny is one explanation, of course. This is a little teeny insight into this whole thing. This is a very great subject matter. Great acharyas have written on this. But the point is that if you think there is no God, and if you think everything is happening according to whatever we are doing, and ultimately everything that's happening is what we are doing is also because of all material laws and, atoms and molecules working. This idea is there. You will find that it doesn't add up, literally. Even if you explain, why, you go to the movie theatre and there's a movie. Oh, because we all came, there's a movie. No, but that is true that because customers are coming, there's a movie, but just customers coming is not sufficient for the movie to go on, because if there's no power, there will be no movie. So, or you go to the restaurant, you think that, because we are all coming, there's a restaurant. That's true, but just because you went, there won't be any food. There's people cooking food there. Similarly, all our activities put together are not sufficient to causally explain why things happen. If you are a very thoughtful person, you will find it. Therefore, so you try your best. Everybody wants to do, everybody is cooperatively working, but things don't pan out. Then you have to use the word, it was destined to be like that. So you use the word destiny when you don't understand how God is acting. God is acting independent of us. But none of us can act independent of God. God has His own plans. Just like when I am driving the car, although the engines are all working in its own way, they all have to obey me. Mama vartama anuvartante manushya partha sarvasaha. Krishna says that in all respects everybody is following my path. What a brilliant statement. You have to understand, you have to meditate, you have to chant Hare Krishna 24 hours Then Krishna will reveal in the heart. So the Supreme Lord is actually everything at the same time is different. So Beda, simultaneously one and different. And He has His own plans for this world, and the world is acting according to that, and because of that we are able to act. The car engine cannot act if I didn't get into the car and start the key. Like that, unless Krishna has given His glance, nothing in this world can happen. In fact, in the Bhagavatam it is described during creation time. Why are people talking? So, Bhagavatam describes that there are demigods. In the beginning, Krishna, appointed Brahma. He created the body of Brahma, a great personality. Prabhupada once asked everybody, if you are an owner of a company and you start a company, who will you appoint first? The sweeper, the clerk, or you'll appoint the CEO? They said, I'll appoint the CEO. So Prabhupada said, then why do they think that in this world, first atoms and molecules were created and then people came? Nonsense. So Krishna first actually appoints Brahma, but even Brahma cannot independently create. And He created all the demigods. There's a god of fire, there's a god of wind, they are all very powerful. So all these demigods and everybody, when all the material elements were assembled and all the planets were made and everything was, but nothing was moving. It actually happened in the beginning. Then the wind god came and said, let me come, and he animated, but nothing was blowing. The fire god came and said, I will animate everything, but nothing was burning. Even though all the demigods came in, nothing happened. And finally they prayed to Vishnu, and Vishnu entered, then the world started creating. In this way, without actually Krishna, nothing can function, and Krishna is functioning totally independently, and once Krishna is doing things, then others can do their things. So if we think that I am independent of God, I will do whatever I want, we are in total illusion. And in this consciousness, when you think I have got duties independent of God, then we will suffer the actions and reactions of our activities. That's called karma. But if you want to actually come out of it, you should know what is Krishna doing. If you can understand in this entire creation what is Krishna doing, then you can dovetail your consciousness to Krishna. Then you can become a devotee. Prabhupada, when he came, he had no personal plan. He knows clearly what Krishna wants. But by Krishna's will, even when he came to America, even Prabhupada said, why did I come here? Why did you bring me here? He wrote poetry. If you want, you make me dance. But I don't know why you have brought me to this place where in the deepest modes of nature. But later he saw. But they always execute the will of Krishna. So if we simply think that, I'll come to the temple, and I'll chant, I'll read books, and this is okay, it's devotional service, but it's your consciousness is still not dovetailed with Krishna, because you are thinking about what you are doing. But if you can actually see, just like, if the finger of the hand sees that Rasaraj is talking, the tongue is thinking, Rasaraj is speaking, the eyes are seeing, Rasaraj is seeing, then they are all Rasaraj conscious. Like that, if you can see Krishna is doing everything, then you become Krishna conscious. That's why Krishna is simply saying, Maya adi akshena prakriti suryaches charataram. Maya adi akshena. Adi means super, aksha means vision. So it's the exact Sanskrit, is the exact English supervision. Under my supervision, Maya adi akshena, by supervision everything. How? For that we have to become Krishna conscious. If we become, then we can actually be very fully situated in our glory. Okay. That's any questions or comments? Yes? There are many? Wait. There are many? Religions, yes.
And every single religion, they believe in a
No. It's not like that. Prabhupada explained that sun is, right now it's evening, sun has set. But it's morning in India, sun has risen. But a few hours earlier, it was sun here, but the sun in India, it was dark night. So every country's sun is rising, but it's not a different sun. So God is one. Whether you call him Krishna, or whether you call him Christ, or whether you call him Allah, it's the same God. But your understanding is different. Just like physics is studied in BSc, and you are also in school, you are studying science, correct? You are studying science, somebody is going to college, BA is studying science, somebody is doing MS, is doing science, somebody is doing PhD, is doing science. It's same science, but the understanding is more. So when you understand God as Krishna, your understanding will become very perfect. Are you following? So it's the same God. We don't say it's different. We don't say Allah is not God, only Krishna is God. We don't say Christ is not God, only Krishna is God. We say yes. You are calling him Christ, you are calling him Allah, you are calling him Jehovah, Buddha, we are calling him Krishna. But the knowledge must be there. Just like somebody studies medicine in India, somebody studies medicine in America. It's medicine. The only way you can test is by how much good doctor you are, correct? You can't say, oh, I studied medicine in Bombay University. You don't come and say, I am Bombay University. Do you say? No, you don't say, I am Bombay University, I am Harvard University. You say, I am a doctor. Like that, we shouldn't say, I am Muslim, I am Hindu, I am Christian. That is a college in which you study. What did you study? Love of God. So you should say, I am a lover of God. Oh, I am a lover of... Really, I am also a lover of God. Like somebody says, oh, I studied, I am a doctor, I am also a doctor. But if you say, oh, I am Harvard University, oh, I am Bombay University, then fight. So religion is not your identity, but your love of God is identity. You follow? Anji? What is he saying? God in the heart?
Do you have to believe God in your heart?
No. God is in the heart, God is also outside, God is inside, everywhere. You have to hear more. First, if you want to understand God, it is not enough to believe God is in the heart. You have to chant. You have to chant and hear. Every day you chant 108 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. You follow? God is in the heart, but we are ignoring him. Just like I come to your house and you don't give me any food. So I am in the house, but what's the use? God is in the heart, but no, everybody is ignoring God. So when you chant Hare Krishna, you are not ignoring God, because you are calling on him. So God is in everybody's heart. But he will reciprocate when you call on him by chanting his name. Are you understanding? So can you chant? Yeah. You chant every day 108 times. You ask your father to buy you beads and you chant. And when you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna is in your heart and he will say, oh, she is actually thinking of me. And then you will also see him outside. Otherwise, yeah, he is in the heart, but kya fayda hai? No, everybody is ignoring. Any other question? That's a very good question. Yes, sir?
What's the difference between chanting Om Sai Ram and chanting Hare Krishna? Or Hare Krishna, Hare Ram? What's the difference if I chant Om Sai Ram?
It's the understanding.
But it's the same meaning.
Huh?
It's the same meaning.
No, name could be the same, but understanding will be different. Just like everybody says E equal to MC squared, I gave the example. But a professor says E is equal to MC squared and you say E equal to MC squared. It's not the same.
Yeah, but the Sai Ram means Mother, Father, God.
Huh?
Sai Ram means Mother, Father, God.
No. Try to understand the point. Suppose you are taught E equal to MC squared. Who teaches you? What is his understanding? You are limited by that.
Yeah.
So, whether you say Sri Ram or whether you say Krishna or whether it is Jehovah or Allah, there is no difference in that sense. But what is your understanding? From where have you got it? We are getting it from the source, the Bhagavad Gita. Now suppose you say, no, I am also studying Bhagavad Gita. So there are people who are called acharyas, and they can test us.
Right, so if you say Om Sai Ram and you're thinking of Krishna, it's the same thing, right?
I mean, you have to now listen. Suppose you go to the doctor. Doctor says, oh, you have got some pedophatic emphatic leucemia. Something, he gives a word.
Yeah.
And you go home and say, oh, I have got pedophatic emphatic leucemia. It's not the same. He knows what he's talking, you don't know. You just heard it. That's what I'm saying. Just because you say Ram and I say Krishna, it's not the same thing. But what's our understanding? So you should think, is my understanding at the highest level? That's what I'm saying. Now, you could know more than me. Then you're saying Ram is superior than me saying Krishna.
No, I'm saying Ram and Krishna are the same.
But I don't know what is your understanding.
Because Ram is God the Father, means God the Father.
What is that?
Ram means God the Father. Sai means Mother God. Ram means Father God.
First of all, Sai Ram is not an accepted Vedic term. Well, we are shocking for you. Second thing, Rama is an expansion of Krishna.
Exactly.
So Krishna has got 64 qualities, but Narayana has 60 qualities. It's not the same. These are all deep. You have to study the Shastras. You may say it is the same, but authorities have to say it. Not you. Authorities. And Veda Vyasa has written already, Sahasranama Tulyam Ramanama Varanane. 1,000 names of Vishnu and one name of Rama is same. And the next verse says, 3 names of Rama is equal to 1 name of Krishna. This is Veda Vyasa. You can't tell him that, oh, Veda Vyasa doesn't know they are all equal. No. So, of course there is no difference between Krishna and Rama, but there's also a difference. So you have to know the philosophy. So I don't know, you may come and suddenly say it's all same, but I got to check you out. I mean, what's your qualification? You see, somebody might say, you go to the hospital, they're all doctors, they are the same. No. Somebody is a junior doctor, somebody is a senior doctor. That's Taratamya is there.
So can I say Christ and Krishna are the same person?
You cannot say anything until you learn.
Okay.
Just like, suppose a teacher is teaching physics and you go and say, can I teach physics? No, you have to get a degree first. So it is not so easy to sit here and talk. I myself not qualified. You see. So that's why in the beginning I gave prayers saying, I hope Prabhupada will make me speak something. As long as the consciousness is there, I can say something. That's why in the beginning I said I'll blabber something. I am a fool. So you have to, first of all, learn before you say anything. Suppose you go to somebody, doctor, and say, can I also diagnose? No, you cannot diagnose. So we are not really qualified to speak about God. Just like you study BSc, you cannot teach. You have to be a PhD and then you have to get a job. So my humble request to you is that, why do you want to say anything? Why don't you hear first?
That's why I'm asking questions.
Yes, definitely, that's correct. So my humble request to you is that you read this Bhagavad Gita as it is carefully, thoroughly. This is enough, this one book is sufficient. Because it's spoken by God Himself. And the more you read this, the more Prabhupada's, we have got more than thousands of lectures, several thousands of lectures. We can give you, on the YouTube, you go and put Prabhupada lectures. You hear Prabhupada speak and you read. So our speaking is to make you see that point. Please read Bhagavad Gita and hear Prabhupada. That's what we should speak. And that's what I'm saying. So you read this, you will become authority. Then certainly you can say things and I will also hear. Why not? Because you have become authority. Because you have learnt from the proper source. You follow what I am saying? So this Sai Ram and all is not really a Vedic mantra. So let me give you a little shake. It's not so easy that anybody can come and say, oh, Sai Ram, Ram, Sai Ram, Bhajan, this is all not accepted. This is all like concocted religion, Kaitava Dharma. But we don't say these things in public because we don't want to appear as criticizing anything. But I'll go ahead and criticize. I'm just joking. But the point is, it is not real philosophy. That's why I said, even the Acharya, Vaishnava Acharyas, other Acharyas have underplayed it. Prabhupada says. So Lord Chaitanya is I told you in the beginning, I think it may not have come at that time. This Lord Chaitanya's philosophy is the only correct philosophy. But my statement of it is not the only correct thing. No. I may say this thing, I may say that thing. That's not important. But if by my speaking you become curious to know, let me know what Lord Chaitanya is saying, let me read Bhagavad Gita as it is, then I have done my job. You follow what I am saying?
Yes.
I am not an authority, but Prabhupada is, Krishna is, and they are the authorities. So whatever I am saying about this are not right mantras and that's not my opinion. This is what they are saying. And if you read this Bhagavad Gita, you will see the explanation why it is like that. And you will know the difference between different names and their powers. That is in the Veda Vyasa said it. It is in the Vishnu Sahasranamam, it is said Sahasranama Tulyam Rama Nama Varanane. What are we going to do about that? Because Parvati asked Shiva, everybody is worshipping you, but you are sitting and doing some japa, what are you doing? He said, and it is there in Vishnu Sahasranama, Rama Rama Rameti Mano Rame Ramyame Sahasranama Tulyam Rama Nama Varanane. He says, Lord Shiva says, I am chanting Rama's name all the time. And why you are asking chanting Rama's name? Because whatever you are chanting 1,000 names of Vishnu, you can accomplish by one name of Rama. Then he also says in the next verse that 3 names of Rama is accomplished by one name of Krishna. What does it mean? That's another topic. It is not like a mathematical equation. Because if it's a mathematical equation, because Rama is also a name in Sahasranama. So then what happens? 999 plus 1 Rama is 1,000, and that 1 Rama is another 999 plus 1, it will be infinite series. It's not like that. I have to give another lecture on that. It's a good question. Answer is, read this and in YouTube, listen to Prabhupada's lectures. That's our request to you. Even one lecture you hear Prabhupada, you will realize, my God, this guy who spoke on Sunday is like a frog. Prabhupada is so fantastic. You will find. If at all I am saying anything useful, it's because I just copied from him a little bit and speaking. Nothing original. So you please, all of you, listen to Prabhupada as much as you can and read, and your life will become wonderful. Stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki.